What's the move? Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then I have nothing left to prove. Nah.
What's new YouTube? How you guys doing? Alright, so let me just get right straight into it, because I actually wasn't gonna make a video this week, but I thought, you know what, this might actually help someone who is either considering competing or thinking about doing a competition preparation. Hence why I'm gonna make a video right now. And what it is gonna be is things that you need to look into, or things that you need to consider before you actually start doing a comp prep, and you know, things that you might actually encounter. So I'm going to try to make this a really nice and snappy video. I might try to time it, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to put this right here. And by the way, if you're wondering, that was totally rehearsed. But anyways, alright. So basically for me, the last two weeks, I would say, have been kind of like the worst in this comp prep for me, mainly because my mental game was this week. And that's one thing that you need to watch out for if you're ever going to do a competition, bodybuilding competition, is to make sure that mentally you're right ahead of the game. Now, how do you put yourself in that position where you're mentally right ahead of the game? Well, firstly, I think my biggest mistake was I didn't realize the enormity of the task ahead of me, and I thought, you know, I've got a Superman complex most of the times. I think I can get any and everything done, you know what? And that usually means I end up disregarding my health. I end up disregarding the amount of tasks that I actually have to get done and the little time that I have. So I would say, you know, if you're thinking of competing, take account of your life. Look at what your life is right now and everything that you're doing, and decide where you need to put most of your attention at, and also make a really conscious and, you know, well thought out decision to say, what can I sacrifice? What am I willing to let go? Because you're not going to have the same amount of time that you have in your normal life right now when you're doing competition prep. You're not going to have the same amount of energy, and you're not going to be as tolerant of those little niggling things in life, and you're not going to have nearly as much motivation for certain other things, because let's face it, we're human. We're limited in terms of our willpower, and you know, you don't want to be in a situation where you have to make consistent decisions, because that's how you drain your willpower. If you have to make too many decisions, you just end up saying fuck it, and you know, that is very detrimental for competition prep. Now, realizing that after you've, you know, assessed that in your life, ask yourself the question, are you willing to deal and face everything that's going to be thrown at you? And because, like I said, physically you don't have as much strength, and your hormones are going to get thrown off, all right? Especially if you're a person who, you know, was someone that was nice or empathetic, someone who people will generally, you know, come up with all their problems. You will eventually get to a point where you can't tolerate people. Not because you're a bad person, but because, you know, from a hormonal standpoint, you're a completely different makeup already. And because fats, well, they make up most of your hormones, you're dropping body fat, so that's going to get affected. So really think about that. Think about your work-life balance, all right? Think about if you're working 4 times a week, do you really need to work 4 times a week? What else are you going to sacrifice? Or maybe you might need to work 3 times a week just so you give yourself that one day to rest. Because what ends up happening is your health takes a toll from everything. Fatigue is a real thing. It's not something that's made up. It's not something that people just say, hey, I was fatigued. You actually get fatigued. So you need to watch out for things like that, all right? So get some structure into your life. Figure out what's important to you and what you need to streamline or sacrifice. Make the commitment stick in your head. And also have good influences around you, and subtract anything that you know is going to be sort of like a distraction or a temptation. Now, like I said, I have a Superman complex. I think I can get everything done. I thought living in a house where, you know, everyone is eating everything that they freaking want to, I'm like, yeah, I can resist that. Yeah, the last 2 weeks taught me not. You know why? Because you're only human at the end of the day. And when you are at such low body fat levels, your body is telling you, bruh, I need food right now. I need to eat. Feed me. You're going to have to be Jesus or something, man, to say, nah, I'm not going to eat right now. Because I can tell you the most disciplined of people will succumb to temptation if they're around temptation all the time. So remove yourself from a position where you're tempted, and, you know, just make sure you're in an environment that's cocooned specifically for you to be able to do well with your competition prep. Then finally, just enjoy the process. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to compete, you need to have valid reasons to yourself why you're doing this. You need to enjoy it. Like, as much as we all do it to win, it's not work. You're not going into work where you have to force yourself to do certain things that you don't want to do. You elect to do a competition, so enjoy the process as well. Another thing, last thing, watch out for compliments. My coach told me this, and thank fuck he told me this, because I actually started noticing it a little bit more. People will compliment you because you're looking really, really good as you're getting towards your competition. Now, if you let that get to your head, that will be your biggest downfall, because you're going to start, making tiny little exceptions. Oh, I can do a little less cardio today. I can, maybe skip out on my diet because, hey, I look good. Yeah, to the normal world, you look good. But for bodybuilding standards, bro, to get down to that level, for competition level, you're far from there, so don't fool yourselves. And also, there's the opposite side of things. People are going to be like, hey bro, like, you look skinny, what's going on? And you're going to feel a need to try to defend yourself every time. That's totally fine. Don't expect, one thing, you're not doing it for anyone else besides yourself. And the second thing, don't expect normal human beings to understand the changes and things that are going on for your comp prep right now. Simple as that. So I hope this helps. The reason why I made this video again is sometime in the future, someone else is going to stumble upon my channel, or my channel eventually gets big. Yes, it's going to get big, believe me. Someone else will need, some kind of help or assistance, or just to know that am I going through something that other people go through when they're competing. And I feel like there's very little content out there. So, you know what, to future viewers or future subscribers, this has been a public service announcement. Anyways, your boy's gotta go do some chest, so I will check in with you guys later.
Hey, what's the move? Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then I have nothing left to prove. Nah.